Hey everybody, today I have a really cool camera to talk to you about. It is the Pentax Espio 140V. That is a really long name, yes I know, but it also has some really cool features, and this camera can be found at a pretty affordable, what I consider to be affordable for a film camera price for a point and shoot of this caliber. So let's go ahead and talk about the Pentax Espio 140V. So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I am actually a pretty big fan of the Pentax point and shoot film cameras for no other reason than they take a really good photo. They're somewhat affordable in the film camera market because they're just not very popular. They're not as trendy as some cameras like the Contax T2 or the Fuji Class W, but they actually look pretty awesome. They take a really good photo, and that's kind of the main point here, isn't it? This one, in terms of design, is pretty unique. It does have a little bit of a lip here. That is not a dent or anything like that. It's actually part of the design. As you can see, it's a little bit more raised than other parts of the front of the camera, and that's so that you can easily get a hold of it and slide it over to turn the camera on. Now, I don't have batteries in this one at the moment because after I shoot with my film cameras, I always take the batteries out to preserve the longevity so that they don't have a battery like bust while they're in storage. It is worth mentioning that this camera has a lot of really cool features that are accessible up here with the top panel, and from what I understand, these top panels are pretty good. Like they actually are still lasting in almost all of these cameras, whereas with a lot of older point and shoot film cameras, you have the issue of those top LCD panels going out to where you can't really see what's going on, you can't see what number you're on with the film. These don't have that problem, and again, I think it comes back to the fact that they're just not as popular. They may be after this video, but they're just not as popular as some of the other cameras. But I'm telling you, you're missing out if you're not looking at the Pentax Espio film cameras. I personally like the 140V because of the design and because of how crisp and clear the photos are. Now, I did accidentally leave the date stamp on this. I don't normally make that mistake, but I was in a hurry to test out this camera because I wanted to get a video out on it just so there's more videos on more affordable point and shoot film cameras out there. I left the date stamp on and I never set the date. So you're gonna see this really annoying 0-0-00 date stamp in all of the photos. Just ignore that. That's not gonna be on your photos if you turn that off. I don't like a date stamp. I know a lot of people, it's really trendy now to have date stamps on your photos, and yeah, it is cool because if you're not doing this for the artistic purpose of it, you're doing it just to kind of document memories. It's kind of awesome to have a date stamp to where you can see what date a photo was taken. I know people love to write dates on their Polaroids and things like that. So if that's for you, then that's awesome. I personally don't like a date stamp. Never have. Even back in the 90s when I was using disposable film cameras and things like that, I just never liked a date stamp. Sorry for that little rant there. But in terms of the Pentax Espio 140V, it's super accessible. It's not hard to find these, and if you can't find the 140V, you can find one of the other Pentax Espios. I actually have another video on my channel where I review another Pentax Espio camera. I love them. I'm shocked by how good the quality is because when I first heard about these cameras, I was like, they must not be very good. Why are these not very popular? Well, oddly enough, Pentax is popular, just not super popular in America with these film cameras. They didn't sell as well here as they did in other countries, but they did sell. It's definitely worth checking them out because you are missing out on an affordable, high quality point and shoot film camera if you're not looking at a camera like the Pentax Espio 140V. Now, I'm gonna show you some photos because I know that's what you guys are here for, that I took very recently with the Pentax Espio 140V. It's a point and shoot film camera, which means you don't have to really do much work to get awesome photos. It does have flash control, self-timer, different functions like that. So if you do want those things, this could be your one camera. If you're looking for one film camera that I think, honestly, this thing looks pretty cool. You know, I was talking about how it's not as trendy as like the Contax T2 and the Fujis and things like that. This looks really good. For a film camera that's no longer in production, I like the looks of it, and I actually love this slide thing. You just have to be sure you're not gonna sit there and do that all day and mess it up from doing it 100,000 times, because I have a tendency to do that when a camera has a slide over the lens. It's also just a really fun feature of these cameras. But I'm gonna show you the photos that I took. I like them. I mean, they're not anything just overly crazy because my subjects weren't. Again, I was trying to just get this video out for you. I highly recommend checking out oldschoolphotolab.com. That's the photo lab that processes and scans my photos. I've been using them for years, never had any problems. I used a couple other film labs before I used them, and very quickly I figured out, just from using using them that there's a huge difference in the quality. They are experts at processing and scanning film. They've been doing it forever. And not only that, the turnaround time is so much better with Old School Photo Lab than other companies. I used lomography one time to have film developed and waited over a month. Quality was terrible. Price was ridiculous. It just was not, it was not satisfying to wait that long. There is some delayed gratification with film photography, but you don't want to wait a month to see your photos. And Old School Photo Lab is really awesome at having a good turnaround time to where you don't have to wait forever to see your film photos. I always get processing and scans because I don't want to scan them myself. And they do such a good job scanning your photos. The price is great for processing and scans, much better than a lot of other film labs that I've seen out there. So I highly recommend them. I'll put a link down in the description to oldschoolphotolab.com if you don't already have a film lab. They're well worth checking out. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already and you like film cameras and film photography and all that cool stuff, because you are definitely welcome here. And I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the photos.